Ray, you want to lead us tonight?
Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Yes. A piece of paper for sign-in sheet?
You can just give me your name.
Agenda review, just real quick, we got two members that are missing. We knew Paul was definitely going to be away tonight, as they have, and Chauncey as well. Brandon will be taking the minutes. They took their son off to the Army, headed for boot camp, so they're not here tonight. And Dave Fuller had gotten a hold of Brandon and I probably about first part or mid part of last week, and he wanted it kept quiet because it was a surprise for his son. His son was playing on a huge stage down, I believe, wasn't it in Nashville, Brandon?
Yes.
And him and Candy went down to surprise him. He did not know they were coming, and he did not want it leaked out. So we kind of tried to keep that hush hush. But so I knew he wasn't going to be here. Anyway, with that, we're probably going to not get too deep into discussions that we're not going to make decisions on tonight. We're just going to have those discussions again. I'm more than willing to have any discussions you want to have with the members that are here. Certainly not going to limit any discussion, but just keep in mind that we're probably not going to make any decisions on some of that stuff, and we're just going to have to go through it again. So, are there any comments? Is there anything that anybody would like to rearrange in this agenda? We're going to fly through this pretty quickly tonight, I think.
Could we do the fireworks permit, because you're here for the fireworks permit, correct, yes, sir? Okay. Would that be okay, Mike?
Is that even on the agenda?
Well,
It isn't.
It could be under,
Comments from citizens?
yeah.
No,
No.
that wouldn't be under comments from citizens, but I'm aware of that, and if it's not on the agenda, it's a slip up on the agenda. It's not a problem. We can add that to the agenda and take it up under any other business at the end of the, after we
Okay.
get through this stuff, okay?
Okay. Yep.
So we will get there.
All right.
Like I said, we're not gonna spend a lot of time in some of the discussion up above anyway. Is that okay? I assume that's what you're here for? I remember you now. I didn't at first, but I do now. Yep, you were online, and I think your wife was here. Okay, so, comments from citizens, topics not on the agenda? Is there anybody out there? Brian Bosenberg and Beth Hutton are online. Okay, hearing none. Review minutes from the previous meeting. September the 6th, June 16th. I'm sorry. June 16th first. Has everybody been through those?
Yep.
I need a motion to approve?
So moved. I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. June the 16th, 2022. Any discussion? Hey, Liv?
Yes.
When this thing goes to sleep on me, do I have to do this to turn it back on all the
No.
time?
You have to give it
It worked.
It worked.
It always works.
We'll
You'll
go
have to
over it
show me if
together.
there's another way.
Yes, we will. We'll do that.
Okay, any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Minutes of June 16th are approved. Approve the minutes of 6/20/22. Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the minutes? 6/20.
No.
Wendy, no?
None.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes of 6/20/22 were approved. Town manager announcements and updates. Brandon, go.
Yeah, I just have a couple of things. So we did receive one bid for building and grounds maintenance, and that was from TJ Property Management, which is the company that's been doing building and ground maintenance for us. It was within budget, so I awarded the contract, and that goes into effect, or went into effect on the 1st, and will go into June 30th of 2024. We also currently have 2 paving projects that we've sent out to bid, one for Quarry Road and one for Stoughton Pond Road. So the one for Quarry Road, we advertised that on June 23rd, and our bid opening is on, our bids are due no later than July 21st at 11:30 a.m., and then we'll hold the bid opening in the conference room, and the results will be available for the select board on August 1st. For the one on Stoughton Pond Road, that bid opening will take place on July 14th, and will be on the agenda for review on July 18th. Any questions about the 2 paving projects?
Yeah, I do. When did we vote to do this? Have we discussed this before?
Vote to do
This is
what?
new to me. These paving of these roads, where are they? Have we discussed them already on the agenda, or did they just pop up, or?
We have a paving plan in place, and basically what we do is we send them out to bid, and then we receive the results, and the select board reviews them.
Oh, okay,
So in each year, the town votes to put $50,000 into the paving budget.
yeah,
And then from there, that's the process that we take.
And also, we apply for grants, so we did get a grant for Stone Pond Road. Quarry Road is the actual planned budgeted in our budget from taxes for the 50,000 project. Same as Kennex Corner Road was last year.
And this is, by the way, just a request for bids.
yeah, I know that.
So
I
it's
understand.
not an actual, anything happening
And
yet.
I was just curious, because all of a sudden I saw it on there, and I said, well, we haven't even discussed this yet. We're
Yeah, so
already putting it out for bids.
so this is the first step of discussion, is for us to put it out to bid, and then we review the results with the board.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to really have much of a discussion before you know what kind of numbers you're talking about.
Yeah, you'd have to
and
get the numbers
timelines
first.
and grant.
In the past, we didn't have a budget for paving, so we always relied on borrowing the money. So
Yeah.
There was a discussion with the board about borrowing money ahead of time, and now we
Correct.
have money in the budget to pave. We don't have that to worry about.
So according to the purchasing policy, it says any projects over $10,000 go out to bid.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Right.
Any other training? Any other questions? I'm sorry, my next thing is EMD training, so I just read that. So our emergency management director just recently completed the Vermont Local Emergency Management Director 8-hour course through the State of Vermont Department of Public Safety. So he's currently in the process of organizing an emergency management meeting during the month of August. There's a couple of things that we need to talk about, such as redeveloping or redoing our hazard mitigation plan. So every so often those expire and we have to resubmit a new hazard mitigation plan, and we're also pulling in Gary Grant, who's our emergency management coordinator, to have those discussions.
Should I be involved in those at this time?
You can attend the emergency management meetings if you'd like. We can add you to the list, but it's up to you.
I think I'd like to be a part of it, at least some of it. I
Okay.
don't know about all of it. I mean, when they're working on, you know, their documents and their plans and that kind of stuff, I don't know that I need to be involved in all of that. That's their job to do, but there might be some things I'd like to be aware of at least,
Absolutely.
and probably should be.
I'll have Rick add you to the email chain.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep. Thank you.
Accountant update. So we are currently outsourcing finance, including bank reconciliations to VLCT. Sarah Macy will be in the office tomorrow until Friday, wrapping up our year end, and then she's going to continue on with bank reconciliations through the month of July, and have a good starting point for the new accountant. We do need to discuss how we're going to proceed with a new accountant. In FY '23, based on the current finance position, we budgeted $22,000 from Windsor to share an accountant. We are no longer sharing an accountant. We don't have an accountant right now. Again, we're outsourcing the finance to VLCT. So this revenue will not be received. We did budget $56,650 to pay an accountant salary, and after we subtract the $22,000 from Windsor, we'll have a remainder of $33,707 to spend on an accountant in FY '23. We also budgeted $12,000 for insurance benefits, so the total budgeted amount we have to spend is $45,721.
And that should go, I'm sorry, that should go back up in the next budget, as long as we get out of the contract with somebody outside, correct?
Well, this is I'm talking about the FY '23.
I understand that,
Yeah.
but once that ends, that 45 will go back up, because you'll be at the 56 plus the benefit package, is that correct? Or does the 650 also include the benefit package?
The 56,650 plus the 12,000 is what we budgeted, but then we also
Okay.
budgeted a revenue of 22,000, so the net that we have available is 45,000.
You're staying in fiscal '23. I'm moving beyond that, Brendan. What will happen afterwards?
That's what I'm asking the board, is how you wanna proceed.
You'd have to increase taxes by $22,000, or increase the budget by $22,000 to make up what you lost from Windsor.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's, so in other words, Ray is exactly right. If we wanted to move full-time with this position in Weathersfield, and if we maintained at the current salary, that we have budgeted, it would cost us an additional $22,000 a year.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. So it'd be like 67, 68 total.
Yeah, and that's budgeting based on the health benefits that were, based on that type of a
Okay.
plan. So there's some unknown variables, and we can't predict exactly what the next person would take for health insurance in the case we did decide to go full-time.
Okay.
So it's best case and worst case
I want my
scenarios.
board members to know that you can ask Brandon or I, but I'm not gonna have the answers. Any questions you want concerning this. The dissemination, and it can be in an email or on a phone call, doesn't matter. The dissemination of information regarding something like this is not, just so that you get up to speed and understand whatever you need to regarding where we're headed with this.
Yep. And, really just, we could advertise it as part-time again, up to 30 hours, and just kind of see if we receive any solid applicants, or if we did it as full-time, we'd have to have a discussion about the additional funding. But
Well, I'll tell you where I sit on this, and that is, you're the town manager, you tell us what you need, and make a recommendation. And that's, you know how, you put the numbers together, and you know what you need for staff, that's
Okay.
your job.
So well, I would say all I really need is somebody between 25 to 30 hours a week. However, it's finding somebody that doesn't need a full-time job.
You know what, in this climate today, you're more apt to get somebody that wants part-time than full-time.
That's,
In this particular, the way it is right now, you're probably gonna be better off getting somebody part-time than full-time.
so I think maybe we just go ahead and advertise the position part-time, 25 to 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's right in line with our
Totally.
budget. And in that
Someone in
case,
there, yeah.
in that case, we have $45,721 because we won't be paying any health insurance benefits.
Yep.
So we'd have a little bit more to pony up on an hourly rate.
If that's what you wanna do,
Yep,
you're,
I like it.
you're the boss.
Let's do that, and let's see what we get.
Yep.
And I'll chat with Sarah tomorrow, and I'll advertise the position this week.
Okay.
All right, tax rate update. The state of Vermont did release the homestead and non-homestead tax rates on Friday. So we're holding a special meeting on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. To set the tax rate and to set the transfer station rates.
Has that agenda already been published?
It's posted.
Okay, it's probably gonna need an update, because there's probably gonna be things that are carrying over from this meeting to
Yep.
Thursday night.
So any update, I can just go upstairs and on my way home I can post the agenda.
That's fine. I just
Okay.
wanna make sure everybody's aware that pay attention tonight, because there'll be things coming off of here tonight that are probably gonna move to Thursday.
Yep. All right, the last thing I have is the historical grant for the Belfry project has been submitted and accepted. The project went very well. The bell is ringing again, so
Oh, wow, cool.
I rang it. Olivia rang it. I don't think. Did you ring it?
I was like, again.
I promise I didn't swing from it.
911 in case it went sideways.
So, Matt Keniston did a really good job, and BJST and the rest of the 1879 school committee getting that project organized. We did hold a meeting with BJSD, and soon they'll be receiving a full occupancy permit, so we need to start having discussions about the use of the building. Right now, as you know, half of it's a food shelf, but the other half is open space for community use. So perhaps we can have a board meeting over there or two. I know Parks and Recreation Commission has shown interest in holding meetings over there.
Trainings for the highway.
Trainings for the highway department, just a couple of ideas. So they would like, the 1879 school committee would like to convert itself into the trustees of the 1879 schoolhouse, similar to the trustees of Martin Memorial Hall. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next up is vote to award the contractor bid. Now, Matt is here, but, and I understand, I've been notified what the bids were. Brendan, you wanna talk about that real quick?
Yep. So we received two bids. One bid was not complete. It did not follow the requests in the RFP. So, in my opinion, we only really have one qualified bid, which is Alva Waste. And the total bid for that is $59,355, which includes the compactor for $30,855, $4,500 for installation, and $24,000 for a concrete pad. Both companies that bid on this also recommend to purchase a new receiver box. And that cost from Alva Waste would be $11,550 in total. That includes the receiver box and shipping.
Just so we're clear, the receiver box is what the trash gets put into by the compactors, a big square thing that sits outside.
Mhm.
And the box that sits outside, in case anybody had questions on what it was. One we had was pretty old.
You mean the one we got left with?
The back door on that one needs to be rebuilt if you don't do it. You could use it as a spare box for if you have, issues or stuff like that. It doesn't necessarily need to go away, but it needs some work before it can be used regularly. Especially
Okay.
if you use that with a new compactor, which is could be much stronger.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's probably gonna blow right out the back door, ain't it?
Well, the back door is a little weak on that one, yes.
Matt, what would you say the cost of, and this is just for, to talk about, the, cost of the repairs would be if we were to repair the old one?
The back door.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at,
You're probably looking at 1,800, something like that.
okay, couple grand,
Yeah.
okay. Which is, on something old, is it worth spending that kind of money on something like that?
I'm not sure. I think if you maybe did a patch job to it and added some steel, but don't use it as your primary, it wouldn't be a bad situation. But to have the one that's gonna get used every week and dumped every week, the other thing, like other towns use is you can weld a piece of steel over the hole, and now all of a sudden you have a, overflow. You can't use it on the compactor once you do that, but you have an overflow containment. So if you guys overflow
Yep.
on trash and recycling, sometimes you're putting it into a bin or whatever, so you're handling it twice. You could use this as your overflow. They open up the back door, they throw trash in it, they throw recycling in it, gets closed up, and you send it to get hauled, so you don't spending the manpower loading. I think that would be a better use for this unit, because the body is pretty solid. The rolls and stuff are, could use a little bit of work, but if you're not using it every day, it doesn't need it. But the back door is the
Okay.
issue. You wouldn't need to redo the back door if you're using it, it's just an overflow.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
I know you guys know who he is. Who is this fella?
Matt Grizzly,
What does he do?
Alva Waste.
Okay.
That's one of the things.
I wear many hats, but Alva Waste is one.
I just knew he was at another meeting before about, I just wanted to know who he was and what he.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kelly.
All right.
Now, I talked to Brandon about this, and I talked to him about waiting until Thursday to make the decision on this contract. Y'all get good with that? You
I
wanna,
don't care.
Wendy? Matt?
I'm fine. I will tell you this, the sooner the better,
Yep.
because the company that I buy all my stuff from, they have 4-yard compactors that they're working on right now, so they cycle in, they build a million different products, so their lines get set. I know last week when I talked to them, they were still in 4-yard, compactors, and they said the sooner I could know the better, because they would bump somebody and bump me in, because I told them time was of the essence.
Okay.
So,
You think Thursday's okay? It's
I think
another 2 days?
Thursday's okay. I'm gonna call them, because I doubt that they can be in the paint nowadays, so.
Right, so that'd mean you'd have an answer Friday, which is still this week,
No, that's perfect, yeah.
right? That okay? I just,
Do you have select board members that want us to wait?
well,
You don't need to do it right now.
I don't really have any that wanna wait. I just thought that, I mean, we got 2 board members missing. It's,
Yeah, but they know it's gotta be done, so what are we waiting? Are they gonna,
the thing that for me was the $10,000 increase in cost.
I gotcha.
Which I agree with, but I thought they ought to be involved, because there is a change in
Okay.
what the initial discussion
Yeah.
was.
You could, just a thought, you could approve the compactor and have a discussion on Thursday about hanger locks. That's a totally separate item.
Did you see the difference in there too with the concrete?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I bid the concrete on
Right.
how Ray and I,
Yeah,
because I was the only one that went to the bid meeting, and we discussed how that concrete was gonna be. Now, it isn't exactly how it states in the RFP, because that wouldn't really benefit you guys at all, because the elevations wouldn't match up. So you are putting a substantial amount of concrete down, but you're building a pad that is gonna,
and I was there during the building evaluations, under the ARPA stuff, looking at this. I know exactly what he's talking about on those elevations. Yeah, I don't know how they ever got away with it. And your guys have to crawl in there. I wouldn't.
it's the least pleasant compactor to service.
It's not pretty.
My suggestion, if you're worried about the 10,000 increase, that's $11,550 increase. Just approve the compactor itself and then discuss the box.
And then he can get that ordered.
When do you need payment?
For all of it?
Yeah,
Uh,
if you were the selected bidder.
how long would it take you once it was built to make payment? What do you need? Let's put it that way.
Well, because that's another decision that needs to be made, is where's the money coming from to pay for this? That decision hasn't been made yet either. Back to your original first question tonight. Where's it coming from?
The unit won't get billed
Figure
to
come
me
out of ARPA
until
funds.
it is shipped.
Okay,
So the so the receiver box, I ordered in 2 already this year, because there's talk of shortage of steel that's used in those. So I actually have the receiver box, if you guys are gonna go with that. I have that, I've already bought and paid for it. I got 2 of them there. I bought one for another town, and I bought one because I knew this was coming up.
Good.
So as far as it goes with the other stuff, you know, you figure out how you wanna do it or whatever. It's basically, once we get it completed,
Okay.
we'll invoice you.
Well, so those are the two things that were kinda on my mind, was the change in the price and where's the money gonna come from, and I thought,
Can we use ARPA funds for this?
Yes, we can use ARPA funds. My
I'm
rec,
just questioning.
yeah,
Do we have a reserve also?
we do. My recommended,
I would say use half and half.
yeah, I mean, we can do it that way. My recommended option would be to take out a loan from People's Bank for $70,000, pay it off over 5 years, enter the payment into the fixed cost formula for the 3 towns to share, which the 3 towns have already discussed and agreed upon.
On replacing it? Really?
yeah,
Discussing it
it's a
for
fixed cost.
years.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been discussing it for probably 2 years. And I held on the discussion with them and haven't released this to the other 2 towns, because of the conversation in the last meeting. So I think we really
About
just
the
need to.
ARPA funds.
Yeah, so the fixed costs at the transfer station in total are shared between 3 towns. The variable costs are paid for through punch tickets.
Yeah.
So this would be entered as a fixed cost, for 5 years, fixed at the payment from People's Bank. And then based on the formula, each town would share the expense, because it's 3 towns and their residents that are using the station. That would be my recommended option, or we could just pay for it through ARPA, we could pay for it through reserves.
In addition to that, Brandon has put us in a great position because with working with the 3 towns, we're paying $50, still paying $50
Yep.
every resident, and now they're gonna be paying a certain amount. So instead of rushing it off and lowering our amount, we could make up the payment by keeping it up a little bit longer.
Yep.
And adjusting it slowly as we go along.
Yeah.
Which would fill the gap that we were talking about earlier.
So-
We have financed, sorry, to interrupt. We have
okay.
financed for other towns this equipment.
Yep.
But knowing, listening to Steve Hire before in here, money man, who I dealt with the schools and stuff like that, he gets money really cheap, so.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
It's, that's,
He does get it pretty cheap.
yeah. It's way cheaper, I don't know why some of the other towns have us finance it, cause
Yeah.
it's nowhere near what.
I would prefer not to use the ARPA funds for this.
Okay,
I'll put that right out there,
okay.
just because I just feel like I really like using that to leverage and see what we can come up to you. I think we've done a lot of where we just have taken the ARPA funds and
Well,
be a little more careful.
in my discussion with Brandon, when you look at the accounts, I'm trying to be careful how I say this. We have a reserve account for the transfer station that has $72,000 in it. But that transfer station being a separate entity, a enterprise fund, is actually in the negative right now. So the conversation I had with Brendan was, how are we gonna make this whole? Because technically, we have that money in that account.
Yeah.
Even though the account says we don't. But we do, it's a reserve account, it has to be there, so it's there.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, because it's in the bank. And my suggestion was use the ARPA funds to cover it and pay it back. But the same thing,
I really like the idea of
I
that
like,
loan.
I said this,
That
I said the same thing about the loan. You could just get the loan. It's probably the better way to go. Let's wait till we have all the board members here on Thursday to make this decision. It doesn't seem like
No, that's
tonight's
fine.
a huge crunch. Let's have everybody here to make this one, because there's a couple things there to talk about. And,
Just so you know, your hydraulic pump on your other one was a 2001, and that's not the original pump on that power unit.
Right.
So you're looking at, your previous one has run you out 1 years. So you've gotten a good life, and your compactor before was used when you got it, so.
If nobody was aware, the compactor is down right now.
Yeah.
yes,
We're using open top containers to fill the void until we can find a replacement pump.
and that's what I started talking to Matt about at the beginning, whether it was more cost effective to just leave those dumpsters there, and he's like, no way.
You would make money, but
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
he'd be
not
real
here
happy.
to gouge the town, I'm here to work with the town to save them money, and I feel guilty when we're pulling open tops, because you're gonna pull 4 to 5 open tops compared to one, compactor container.
Yeah, it could cost a bunch of money.
Yeah, it's wasting money, and it's wasting fuel and tires for me, so.
That discussion was in regard to fixing what's sitting there right now, to get it back online. So, that's already been taken care of, he's already spent the money on that, just so you know. The parts are coming, and that's getting fixed. Okay? Yeah.
I mean, hanging out underneath that compactor at 9 o'clock at night, my 16-year-old holding the light for me, it's, good times.
All right, so that actually takes care of both of those for right now, and that'll be on the agenda for Thursday night for a decision. So you can write the motions for those if you want to for Thursday night. We'll put them right on the floor as motions and go into discussion.
Okay.
You won't need me there for that.
No, I don't think so. I think everybody here has heard it, and I mean, maybe be online in case one of the other board members has a question. I guess I don't think you need to be here if you can log in.
Yeah. You'll send me the login.
Actually, we could give you any one of these, and I think it will get you there.
Or is it this on the bottom of that? Same?
Yep.
It's right on the
Yep.
top.
Yep.
Oh, no, it is on the
of
bottom
this.
now,
It's on
we
the
moved
bottom.
it.
Just take that with you.
I'll grab
That'll
this.
get you in.
So you guys all set with me?
Yeah. Yep, we are. Thanks, Matt.
Have a good evening.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
Matt, what's your phone number?
802
Yeah,
291
yeah.
4807.
You just gave that to millions of people.
They all know it. It's out there.
Thank you, sir.
Toodaloo.
Thank you all. High priority building improvements, ARPA. You want to get into any of this discussion tonight? So that'll move to future agenda.
You skipped 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. We,
forget
entertainment
that.
request. And this, I believe, is a wedding request?
Yep. I lost my computer, so mine went dead.
It went dead?
Yes, it is.
Not plugged in, so.
No, it still had a charge, but it doesn't. There it is.
Where's that?
Yeah, we're way overdue for that compactor to be replaced
There it is.
anyway.
Thank you. Everyone signed off on this wedding thing? Yep.
Brendan, you want to take it away with that? I'm still scrolling to,
All the way.
there it is, I got it.
So we received an application for entertainment permit. There'll be a wedding, if the board approves, on Saturday, October 8th, between 12 and 2 p.m. There'll be approximately 50 people in attendance. And they've provided a means for closing the road. The fire chief signed off on it, I signed off on it, the police chief signed off on it, with no conditions.
Do I hear a motion to approve
So
the
moved.
Seconded.
entertainment permit? Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion?
A wedding.
What was your question?
What road is it?
Henry Goldwood Road.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion, the request is granted. High priority building improvements, those are moving to future agenda. Business personal property tax. You guys wanna have any discussion on this tonight?
No, the only thing I'd like him to get is what the total was from last year,
Comparable.
to compare, yes.
Okay,
Please. Cause we'll need that for Thursday night.
yep.
So,
Um,
that'd be great.
Mike, do you have this piece of paper here?
Yes, I do. Just wrote on it.
Is that what you were looking for?
Oh, yes, you put, where they got put into groups, 0 to 10. Yeah, close enough. This is a conversation I had with him to kind of identify what we had for businesses. Where do they lie?
I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I
I
just
thought
would like
it
a
would be helpful
comparable.
information for us to understand, you know,
Yeah.
what do we have for businesses and where are they in
Yeah,
regard to
what-
this thing?
How much they're worth, yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay.
So, okay, thank you, Brandon. And so this is also gonna move to Thursday night.
Yeah.
So that's, 10. So we're at 11, proposed future, agenda items, which is, I have the 1879 trustees committee that you wanna create. That came out of your report,
What was that again? 1879 schoolhouse? Yes.
Yes,
the committee, trustee
Yep.
committee.
Yep.
And I wrote down hire an accountant, but I put question marks there because I think that's something you're gonna do within the budget anyway, on your own, right?
yep,
I'm gonna advertise it as a part-time position at this time.
Right, and if you get somebody, you're gonna hire them.
Yeah.
If you happen to, it doesn't come back here.
Nope.
Okay, so that doesn't need to be on the agenda. Items 9 and 10 are on the future agenda items. This future agenda is Thursday night, which is, what, the 7th?
Yep.
the RFPs have to be on there. I think,
The RFPs for,
for the paving, I think, will we have those in by, no?
no, we
They'll
won't
be the
have those.
meeting after, okay,
Yeah, that'll
never
be the
mind.
next one,
End of July.
Yep. July and August.
August,
Yeah.
yep. Yep, Thursday night's meeting was basically
for
just to set the tax
taxes. Yeah,
rate.
correct.
But we're moving these items from this agenda to Thursday, and we're gonna wrap up pretty quickly here and go home.
Yeah,
Appointments, I don't see any names under appointments. Approve the warrants. Do I hear a motion to approve the warrants?
so moved.
Somebody has to read them.
Can we discuss afterward, after I read them, is that when that happens?
yes.
Okay,
Yes. You make the motion and read the warrants.
okay, so I'll make the motion to accept the warrants, is that what I do?
Yep. And then,
Someone have to second, or do I just read them?
Well, I didn't know, I'll
You-
second
you-
it, but I thought she had to.
yeah, you read the payroll and operating expense totals.
For the general fund, payroll $16,555.38. Operating expenses $42,373.47. Highway fund, payroll $7,887.20. Operating expenses $79,665.94. Solid waste management, payroll $1,800.50. Operating expenses $219.83. For a total, library, $2,070.68 for payroll. No operating expenses. Grants, $13,260.32. Reserves, $99,426.79. Grand totals, payroll, $28,313.76. Total operating expenses, $234,946.35.
Now, second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the warrants. Any discussion?
Yes, I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
My little cheat sheet out here. Okay, we always have, every time we do this, no expenses whatsoever for the library. Is there a reason why they appear somewhere else? Like they have fuel, they have telephone, they have travel, they have media, they have postage, but where does it, how come people don't see it underneath the library operating expenses?
That's a good question.
That is a very good question.
It never is there.
I know the library board of trustees actually oversee the library, and what we did is we put their budget into our general fund budget, but the library board of trustees actually signs the warrant. They actually, they oversee the entire library. In fact,
Oh,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Similar to the Prudential Committee, we do our own.
So I think just for payroll, for the sake of processing the checks, for payroll, we enter these numbers here.
Okay.
But as far as operating expenses and so forth, the select board,
It's kind of deceiving, because this goes out, everyone can get online and see this.
yeah.
And I often wondered, that library doesn't operate with any expenses.
It's certainly a good question how it's written, but then, you know, you go to the library webpage, they have their own website, and they have their own packets, and that's where all of the actual, but since we're processing, because otherwise, if we did it the other way, the library would have to have its own accountant, its own payroll person, and since it's such a, you know, it's a smaller entity, it didn't make sense for them to go completely on their own.
I guess.
I don't know, to me, it's a I don't think it's, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's
Because the money all
deceiving.
comes out of the town bank accounts, right?
It does, similar to the school. If
Yeah.
the school has a school board,
Right. And
Um,
this, I get it. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, but we know where all the money is. You actually see line items at school.
Yeah, the highway got it. It's right, it says so right there.
Yeah. The highway has it too, yeah.
yes,
Okay, I see another question. My next question is, I see that we paid for hose testing for West Weathersfield. That
Yes.
$1,500, who did their hose testing for them this year?
so the firefighters do their own hose testing and they're paid a stipend per person.
So we weren't gonna have the same thing done as they do down here where they have professionals
there
come
was
in and
a-
do it?
I don't think there was information traded quick enough to make a decision to get it done through another contractor. I think they're still working on that.
Okay.
I might be over speaking. I know there has been discussions about doing it that way, but
Okay.
I think it was too late. They wanted to get it done.
All right, these are my questions when I see it on here.
They wanted to get it in that
Yeah.
fiscal year.
And well, I know what that, the cadet training thing, the check was made to Kathy Gerard for $300. Is that for, the Spalding boy that went to the, Vermont?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cadet, okay. And another thing, the RN to EMT training, $750. What did that pay for? Because, what's that?
EMT license. Somebody went to school for EMT class.
Yeah, but I thought that the price for that was only $300 to $400.
This is the whole EMT course, not just being a licensed,
And where does that money come from?
I was.
Is that budgeted somewhere?
Yeah, so West Weathersfield Fire Department has a training line item.
Oh, okay, that's
so-
where that's coming out of then?
Yes.
Okay,
This isn't the whole rescue thing, that's separate, this is a person
Oh,
getting
okay.
licensed to be on the rescue squad.
I gotcha.
It's okay.
Brandon, how are we tracking the costs of the rescue squad?
It's just built into the regular budget. I mean, if you'd like to have,
Well, it's a new kind of thing, and cost and expense was definitely one of the things we talked about. So at least for a short period of time, maybe a year or two, I'd like to be able to keep an eye right on what that's costing us. So that we can, you know, I mean, sooner or later, somebody's gonna ask, you know, what is this thing costing us? And we should be asking that as well, just so we know.
yep,
Have a way to,
Now let me go through, the town garage one. No, I'm just kidding.
I need more candy.
Good thing you didn't share.
Yeah, right.
and, do you have any other questions?
No, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate those questions on that warrant, because I seldom get a chance to really go through that myself too closely. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion on the warrants? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Warrants are approved. And that brings us to any other business, which is
Mr. Dawson.
Michael Dawson. You wanna step up
you're
and have
it.
a seat, hit the hot seat? Might as well, that way I don't have to turn around and, I'm old. Turned 46 last week.
That's a good age. What's your-
Before we proceed, I would like to call Chief Spalding real quick.
I already, whoops, I
I
already
know
talked.
you talked to him? Okay, what did he say?
Well, he said that it rained today, but he would like to have the homeowner or the person that's going to be shooting off the fireworks give him a call Saturday morning because he's just concerned that it's going to be really hot all week and there might be wind, and if it's going to be like he just wants him to check in with him in the morning. But it's not a no. It rained today, but he would just like a phone call.
You okay with that?
I'm fine with that, I text him for a permit, that's all.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So you have his number. Perfect.
No, I have his number, I have the one other one, all that covers.
Alrighty, good.
Darren, I just wanna make sure that we keep our circle tight. So get a hold of Darren, I want him to call you after he gets that phone call from him,
Okay.
just to make sure that, everybody's on the up and up.
Okay.
No offense, just that way we know it's being done. Okay?
Yep.
Thank you. So everything's, we basically had already been through this thing for the most part. It was just a matter of timing, right? And making sure that it complied with the policy. So everything is good with this, Brandon?
Everything's good.
I don't have that in my packet, do I?
No, we don't have it.
Okay, so,
It's the same application from before.
yeah, but I need some dates and stuff, that's all. I'll get it,
Yep.
I'll get it real quick from Michael here. Michael Dawson, what's the address, Michael?
144 Kiernan Road,
Kiernan?
ITR,
No. Oh, okay, that makes it even better.
Yep.
I need a motion to approve the application for fireworks for Michael Dawson, 144 Kiernan Road, Perkinsville, Vermont. The date is gonna be 7/9/22. Rain date will be 7/10/22. Display time 9 PM to 9:45. Same for both days.
So moved.
Do I hear that motion?
Yes.
Second? Motion was made and seconded.